Oh baby, today on the channel, G.I. Joe Classified Series Hasbro PulseCon exclusive, Zartan. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another G.I. Joe Classified unboxing and review today, Zartan. And you're not going to be able to wipe the smile off my face as I am excited for new Joes, excited for one of my all-time favorites, Zartan. But remember, for all your G.I. Joe Classified needs and a whole lot more, except this one, hit up Big Bad Toy Store, link in the description below. And this is an interesting figure out there, as we knew there had been leaked photos for maybe almost a year now of Zartan with some color changing action going on, as this one does color change. We'll get into that. And a lot of people thought it was fake or a custom or something like that. Well, here we are today. They have re-released Zartan in some ways, and in some ways this is a totally brand new figure. And we're going to do this like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We'll compare it to the other G.I. Joe Classified Zartan figure, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I was here for this all day long. I love the idea. There's a few things that irk me a little bit. We'll get into those as well. But it's very cool anytime I get a brand new G.I. Joe Classified figure. As we always say on the channel, I love my wrestling figures, but man, G.I. Joe is where my love for action figures really exploded as a small child. So I'm here for it all day for some G.I. Joe figures. But let's take a look at the packaging first. First things first, here's the front packaging. As you can see, Zartan looking only like a Zartan could look if he was in a Hasbro Pulse exclusive packaging. G.I. Joe logo at the bottom, Hasbro. But the cool feature about this is, for you Men on Box guys out there, you can turn the little wheel on the side and all of a sudden the Master of Disguise changes up. He changes his looks. How cool is that? Now we got an old man going on. Now we got Storm Shadow. Now we got another crazy looking guy. Is that Snake Eyes? Yep, Snake Eyes. So then you got Snake Eyes. And you're back to Zartan. So you got a little wheel of display. So that is a cool, neat feature they put into the packaging. Much like the MODOK exclusive from the same time frame, the packaging is a big part of all this. They spent some extra money on these packaging. It's just a cool package out there. But man, for you Men on Card collectors, it's tough because this is as far as it goes. You'd have to break the seal on the sides to actually see the figure. So if you do break those seals, it's no longer Men on Card. Even if you haven't taken the figure out, that's the way I view things. I know not everybody does out there, but that's what I do. So anyways, it is what it is. I want to point that out there. Number 31 on the sides right there. We've talked about this before with G.I. Joe exclusives. I don't care if we're talking Star Wars or any exclusives out there. These exclusives, I would say G.I. Joe Hasbro specifically, let's not label our exclusives. Not everybody has access to these. Not everybody wants another Zartan, etc., etc. And a lot of people collect these, put these all on display in an order with the numbers. It looks funny when you're missing a number. So I think store exclusives should have maybe a B, C, and then maybe some exclusives like this, maybe nothing, and leave the traditional retail that's aligned that everybody can get, put numbers on those. That's where I sit from right here, as we all know is right here at this table. So that's a little disappointing there. And then I don't like the different box sizes. I love this box, but it's so much bigger than a traditional classified series. So if you put this and you're trying to put them in order for the numbers, it looks funny with these sticking out. It just does irk me out there. But it is what it is. What are you going to do? On the top, you got the window box. You got the 31 again. You got that Zartan logo, which we saw on the original classified, of course. Beautiful color glamour shot of Zartan right there on the side. Like I said, you can also decode these online. I don't do that. I want a file card. And speaking of file card, guess what? There isn't one. So no file card as we're used to. We got that big G.I. Joe mural in the back, which is very cool. We got warnings, all that kind of stuff down there. But man, a little file card goes a long way. It doesn't have to be War and Peace back there. Give us a cool, just a cool saying or two. Something. Give us something. Give us some connection. But then this opens up like a book. Very cool there. So then you got that Dreadnoks logo. Man, I'm hoping we get the Dreadnoks in 2022 somewhere. Give us a 3-pack of the Dreadnoks. Give us something, because, man, I love the Dreadnoks. Those are the heavy metal Cobra affiliates, we'll call them. Heavy metal affiliates from Australia, of course, as we know. But I'd even take a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Cold Slither. If you don't know Cold Slither, man, look that up. The greatest rock and roll band in all the land. We got the G.I. Joe Classified logo down here. We got Zartan. We got the big window box. And now we get a ton of accessories with this Zartan. Very cool. This is what really separates it from the previous Classified release. A lot of reuse, but man, look at all those extra heads. Just tons and tons of heads there. We got an extra backpack. We got his bow and arrow. Some people know that read the comic books back in the day, he was lethal with that bow and arrow. Didn't use it a lot in the cartoon, but in the comics he was. Just ask Serpentor. There you go. But man, this looks cool in the package here. Just a lot going on. He does have a more grayish, ghoulish, zombie-colored skin color on this one, and I believe that is because of the color-changing effects. You can stick this Zartan in your freezer, and he will come out very blue. And I believe the sun as well. There's no sun where I live today, unfortunately. There's snow, though. Oh, love snow. I could probably stick him outside. But this one, we will stick it in the freezer, and we'll come back a little later and show what that looks like. But let's get him out of the packaging here. I've pre-cut the top. Just a thing of beauty, this, oh, then you got that same Dreadnoks logo in the back once again. So you got it in the back and the front. There it is. But very cool packaging as usual. See you later. Now we get down to the plastic prison. And man, there is a lot to keep track of here. A lot of stuff. There he is in the plastic prison. No monkey paw or snake head with this one like we got with the previous versions, if you guys remember that. So let's get him out of the plastic prison, get all of his accessories out of here. Like I said, a lot of accessories with this one, as it should be. It's an exclusive. We need those accessories. 1, 2, 3, I can count 4, 5, 6 heads with this Zartan. Just put those right in a pile. We get some blaster, we get a knife. There it is. Backpack. Bow and arrows going on there. And of course, Zartan. So we are out. There it goes. Man, just a ton of stuff going on here. Look at this big sniper rifle. Now, how much you want to bet they release low light the next year or two and we get this exact thing re-put out there? Just a cool sniper rifle up on a hill, whatever. Ooh, it even has articulation here, so you can move that. It does have something to carry it off to the side. Not a lot of color to this one, except on the handle. You get a little bit of a greenish color going on there, but the rest is all black. But very cool. A new accessory, a new weapon we have not seen in the Joe line so far. I like that a lot. Then we get a blaster. I believe this is the same blaster as the previous Zartan. Yes, it is. Same with the knife. We get the knife, which still has tape on it. Let me pull that tape off. There it is. So we had these before, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. We've had these. It is what it is. There's those two weapons. And then the backpack. Well, I was going to shake it, see if there was anything there. Can I get this backpack open? I'm assuming it opens. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. There we go. So you got the backpack for Zartan that opens. This is the same backpack he had before. I should just pull this out right now. Why don't I? This is the previous Zartan. We'll have him just kind of hanging out to the side as I lose his monkey's paw and his snake head. I'm betting 1,000 at least. But there he is. We'll put him to the side right there. But yeah, this is the exact same backpack we got before. You can put one of these masked heads in there. Very cool to the old school Joe days. If you guys had the original Zartan like me with his skiff, his swamp skiff, that was a favorite childhood. One of the first Joes I really remember getting as a kid. I loved that little pack with the old grandma vehicle, as we call it. But it's cool. You could put one head in here if you really wanted to in the backpack. But it is reuse of that backpack. Now this is where the hard part comes. And I don't have it in front of me, but I believe the Red Ninjas, didn't they come with something like this? Did they come with this bow and arrow? The quills? Quills, is that what it's called? I think that is a cool feature here. I'm trying to think, does this fit? Okay, so I was going to say, here's my big gripe here is you have to choose what backpack you want. Do you want his traditional one or you want the one with the quills? But guess what? The G.I. Joe line is so good about this. One of the best lines ever. I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head that equals this. But all these accessories, outside of these heads most likely, but all these accessories can be stored on the figure. I think that is truly cool because there's nothing worse than having all these baggies or mixing things up and losing accessories. But to be able to put them on all the backpacks and store them with them is a very, very cool feature that I think is really neat. And it continues here as there's a hole in the front of the arrows and you can stick the backpack right through that. Fits like a glove, and then you can stick that right into his backpack. So that is cool. You can put this kind of off to the side or however you want to display it, but I think that is a very cool touch there. And these look like arrows. The little red coloring and kind of the shade of color there, it really sets this off. You know what it is. Just a little bit of paint goes so far on things like this, and that's what it looks with those. So I love these arrows going on there. Got more tape here. But then you get down to Zartan. He's got his handkerchief. Handkerchief, is that what it's called? Necktie or whatever. So he has that just like the old one. I'll put that on him. What the heck? Why not? It's funny, as a kid, and I probably said this in this review, Zartan to me, I never thought of him as bald. I guess I kind of thought like his hood thing, he had hair under there, or I kind of just assumed, hey, he's got weird hair and that hood is actually hair. I think that's what I believed as a kid. So whenever I see Zartan bald, it just kind of throws me for a loop. I mean, it's not the end of the world for sure, but I do always kind of just say, huh, that's a little different. But then we get the bow and arrow here with Zartan as well. There's no string or anything attached. You got to use your imagination there. But it's a white bow and arrow. Very cool. Like I said, he's quite the archer if you read the comic books. I don't want to spoil anything for a 30-year-old comic book, but read up, read up. But then we get down to the Zartan, and what differences do we have here? And we actually got more than I thought there would be. Paint, once again, I talked about paint earlier. Paint goes a long way in showing up the changes here, but we got the same shoulder gauntlets going on, the same hood, the same everything. It's basically the same figure, but adding silver highlights to a lot of this, adding the silver on the belt buckle, adding the adding the silver on the forearm guards and the chest pieces really makes this feel different when it really is not different. The skin tone, totally different, and once again, that does go back into the feature of making this change color. That's probably why that is. But I kind of like this ghoulish skin tone better. It feels more Zartan, a guy that lives in the darkness and the swamps. As you guys know, Zartan can't see sun, so that's one thing with him. But I like this, and I could see some people saying they don't want two Zartans, but man, I'm a big enough Joe crazy man that I need two, and I think a lot of people will once they see this, or maybe once they got it in hand. Kind of like I feel right now. There's a lot to like about this one. His hood fits on there. The hood is more of a red color, where it's more of a deeper brown on the old one we had before. It's just really a lot to like about this one. But the cool feature of this one, too, that a lot of people obviously think of when they think of Zartan, the Master of Disguise, of course, is all these extra heads. We got the Storm Shadow head, the Snake Eyes head. Talk about a slap in the face to collectors. Give us the regular Storm Shadow, but we know now he is coming in 2022. But imagine if we didn't know that was coming and we got this, people would just be up in arms. And they probably were already anyways. But we got two heads. So these are actual heads with the ball. You take them off just like a traditional head. The rest of these are actually masks, and they go right over his face. And then you can put his hood on as well. But very cool. You get an old man face here with a big scar over his eye going on there. So I don't know if that's hard master, soft master, if that's what that's supposed to be. Could possibly be. So you got that. I talked about Snake Eyes, talked about the Storm Shadow heads. Then you get a... This is more of the original Zartan mask. If you had the original 3 3/4 as a kid or now or whenever, like I did, this is the one that you had. They only came with one extra head. So I think that is a good touch. Hasbro had to do that. Give us that old school Zartan head. I think that is really cool. The white on the eyes, that's where you know something's up. Hey, this guy doesn't have any pupils. He doesn't have anything going on in there. What's the story there? And then we get another old man head. Was this one in a G.I. Joe episode where he was like impersonating a banker or something like that? I kind of feel like I remember that out there. But one gripe I always had with Zartan back in the day, or even with these heads I should say, is... Okay, yeah, Zartan puts this, Snake Eyes head on or whatever, but guess what? He still has Zartan's body. That's the thing that kind of misses out. So when I was a kid and I was pretending Zartan was somebody, I would use my traditional Snake Eyes figure, for example, and I would use him pretending to be Zartan. I couldn't just put a fake face on him and play pretend that way. I'm sure some of you guys were the same way out there. But it is a neat feature. It is neat to get all these different face masks and going on and stuff. And then he does have this one, which I'm not sure what the point is on this one. It is Zartan. It's kind of a mask, I guess, a skull mask. I guess it's giving the little Dreadnoughts some love out there. But I'm not sure. I don't know. It's just not like a face. It's a skull. Nobody ever wears just a skull without skin on it. That just doesn't happen. But I still like all those. I love the idea of extra faces. I think that's a cool touch for the old Master of Disguise. It would have been a cooler touch. Add $10 to the price point. Make this truly a deluxe pack. Give us the Swamp Skier. That's a small vehicle. I hope we don't get Zartan re-released again. Maybe they'll give us Ninja Force Zartan. If you guys remember that one, that was an interesting Zartan. Give us that one with the Swamp Skier. Maybe they'll do that. But I think this deluxe pack would have been the perfect opportunity to give us the Swamp Skier. Charge us $10 more, something like that. I think that would have been a nice touch. But maybe down the line, we'll see where it goes with Zartan. But I think I said, but same articulation, same everything. Same as this other figure, just the color differences is really the only differences. It's the accessories that take this up to the next level. But then, like I said, he does change his color when put in a freezer or refrigerator. I think anything sub 20 degrees, I think is what it said somewhere. But let's do that. Let's go take him. I'm going to put him up in the freezer, and we'll come back with a different look to Zartan. All right, we're back, and we got Zartan out of the freezer. I think I stuck him in here for about 5 minutes tops. I mean, he turned a dark, dark blue just in that amount of time. I believe, yeah, so cool. So you can play with him. He's dark blue, but then you see on his forehead where I stuck my thumb, obviously the heat of my thumb color changed him, so that is really cool. I'm not sure how long he'll stay this blue color. It's not forever. He will slowly warm up and turn back to normal, but you can really play with this one. If you're a figure photographer out there, you know, you could put your hand on half of his face to kind of make it seem like there's a little bit of sun coming in that way and damaging old Zartan's skin. But I do like the fun playability feature of that one. I gotta be honest, I didn't use it a ton as a kid, his color changing, but I just think for a nod to the past, updated, it's one thing a lot of classified collectors were asking with this Zartan. We wanted color changing, just because it's such a cool feature. It's so new and so different back then, and it's one of the things people most remember about the classic Zartan figure. So to put it in this exclusive, I think was a nice touch. For me, basically that swamp skier would have been really nice. I would have liked that. The heads are really cool. It's a nod to the past. I love that we got more heads. I would have just liked to have seen, I don't know. It always feels weird to me just to put a Snake Eyes head and, oh, it's Snake Eyes, but he's got Zartan's body. Oh, that's weird. But when you're playing as a kid, you gotta, suspend disbelief and all that kind of stuff. So I get that too. But tons of accessories, a lot to like about one of our all-time favorite Dreadnoks. I'm here for this all day. Bring me the rest of the Dreadnoks. Keep the Joes coming. I'll even take exclusives at this point. As we've all seen, G.I. Joe exclusives at Target, much, much easier. I've been saying that since day one. Everybody has been flipping out, and I said it's a very simple retail 101. Watch my videos. You'll learn a lot about the old business. And I said that from day one. And now we're in a golden age of the Joes. Now we just got to vote with our wallet. All these people that said they couldn't get the things, hopefully they will pick these up, and time will tell on that. But Zartan, I'm here for it all day. What say you? Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this Zartan. Enough meat on the bone for this one. If you already had this one to get it, you guys tell me in the comments. For me, yes. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, follow me on social media at SirPaul64, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, very easy for me to say. And then, of course, ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson, support the channel, pick up a t-shirt. There you go. So for Zartan and Dreadnoks everywhere, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.